look like? And frankly, why would I want to do it, right? So again, going back to what the real opportunity is right now it's going to be harder and harder to get listings. And the listings that are coming out are going to be because people need to sell, right? When you look at the data, 2.1 million pass away every year over the age of 65, and 80% of them owning real estate. You know, that gives you a large pool of listings, 1.6 million potential listings, right? Today, we're going to talk about the 2.2 million that actually move every year, right? Those folks are over the age of 65, typically retirees and up, that are moving because of a change of a lifestyle, many times because of a health situation, all right? So why is it important to know what senior relocation services are, and why is that important? Well, because at some point, that older wealthy adult that has equity in their property, their home's not going to work for them anymore, right? They're going to have some kind of challenge. And what they're going to need is they're going to need someone to help them find a new home. See, because once you figure out, if you provide a service as relocation services of where to go, there's a greater chance that they're going to want to do business with you, because you've not only helped them sell their home, but they help them with the transition, right? You really want to be able to provide that service such that they see you more as somebody that's consulting with and helping them through the entire journey versus just a transactional transaction, right? And, you know, a lot of folks, once you do that, are going to call you for advice. We have the city and county of Honolulu calling us, the state Adult and Protective Services calling us, because they know that we're the realtors that actually help people move, find a different home, the entire journey of that, and then we sell their home. Yeah. The other thing is once you deliver this message on being the senior relocation service expert, sellers are going to know that you care, right? Because you've thought through the entire process. You're going to deliver at a really high level, much beyond any other realtor in your market, because you're going to be educated on the challenges that are facing this adult group, as well as the solutions to help them. Right? Then you're going to secure more listings. It's clean and simple, right? We're doing this for one reason. My main mission when I got into real estate is get listings. And so we got pretty good at it, and we brought solutions to the table. The other thing that's going to happen is you're going to build a shift-proof niche. Now, as we are going into the recession, and we don't know how long that's going to last, but during that time, most of these folks aren't going to be selling, right? Those old, the younger group that would sell, and they had a 2.75 interest rate, now they're looking at buying a larger asset to get a larger home, and now they're looking at 5 or 6%. Those guys, they're not going to sell. Right, so the market's going to shrink. The available inventory is going to shrink, and if you think about that, look at who's going to be selling. Right, during this time period, who's really going to be selling? It's a shift-proof market because they're selling because of a reason that's beyond the market, and most importantly, these folks, they have a lot of equity. Right, almost all equity. What you're going to also do is you're going to build referrals through trusted advisors, financial planners, wills and trust attorneys, CPAs. We have in our class, we're going to give you homework to go find these folks and have lunches with them and coffee with them and better understand them, and then maybe present your value proposition as well. Right? And that's what's helped us become the real estate planner of choice in our market, because folks know that we can provide those solutions. Lastly, it's going to build a lead funnel much earlier than anybody else. See, in your market, I'm going to venture to say that nobody's doing what we're doing here today. There's very few people in most markets that are focused on the wealthy older adult, in particular, this model around senior relocation. I know of a couple dozen around the country, but if you think of how large our country is, there's not that many. So you could potentially build a model around this during a time when others are going to have a hard time getting listings. You're going to be able to get them because these folks are going to have to move. Right? So why are they downsizing and moving? Right? Well, first thing is it's because of the physical health challenges. Normally, it's going to be most common is your hips, your knees. When they have a bedroom on the upper floors, when they have stairs. Yeah, at some point that's not going to work out well for them physically, right? Anytime somebody falls, we have multiple clients fall in their own home, break their femur and or hip, and then can no longer do those stairs anymore, right? So there's going to be a lot of physical challenges with that. There'll also be mental challenges, right? There's going to be challenges with memory, right? As they get older, hey, I'm going to be 59, and half the time I'm like, where's my glasses? I'll be like this. I go, where's my glasses? We're all going to have mental challenges, and it's going to increase as they get older. When you get into their 70s, 80s, and 90s, yeah, memory is going to be a challenge. And therefore, my parents, we just moved into a retirement community just recently because of memory challenges. So it's a safer environment for them, and it's really the best opportunity. Right? Then some are selling to pay for long-term care needs, right? They're going to have to move into a care facility, and they're going to have to, while they want to keep the home, it's expensive, right? They're going to have to pay for that long-term care, and that we show them that it can come out of their home. Right? Now, there's family dynamics. You know, sometimes if it's husband and wife, one passed away and now we have a widow, that makes it challenging. Or if the kids have moved out of the city, maybe to a different location, yeah, they want to spend time with their grandkids, things like that, right? Some are selling to move in with family. Now they're consolidating, right? We see some of that as well, right? Those are putting accessory dwelling units on their homes and having them, mom and dad, move in to the downstairs unit, things like that. And then a lot of times it's just their home's too big, right? It's too much work to maintain. It's overwhelming. They used 2 rooms in the 4-bedroom home, and you know it's become a burden, right? Then some are actually very proactive. This is the retirees that says, you know what, I'm going to sell because the kids aren't coming back home. The house is too big, and I'm going to buy something smaller, right? They'll buy a 2-bedroom cottage, or they'll go into a condo, right? Or some aren't even buying. They're actually just renting because they figured, you know what, I'm at an age where I don't really need to own anything at the moment, right? And so that's okay too. But imagine being able to help all these folks through this journey. Imagine the impact you'll have on lives all around your community. And then many are moving into retirement communities. And that's what we really built our model around, is the wealthy older adult that's making a proactive decision to select a new living environment such that they get cooking, cleaning, security, and low stress, right? In a community where they are surrounded by people of a similar generation, right? And that's a really heartwarming process, because we've moved hundreds and hundreds of people in retirement communities. And I gotta tell you, you can see the change in their life. That's really impactful. They're much less stressed, they're happier, and they're taken care of. And then some are going to want to move into a lower cost of living environment. You know, Hawaii is very expensive. We see people moving out of our market into a lower cost market. We're going to see a lot of that coming around because they're on a fixed income, right? And at some point they're realizing, like, you know, they're running down on their savings. And some are moving into warmer climates, right? The snowbirds moving from those who are up in the Northeast, we're coming down. You know, there are a lot of folks moving out of there to warmer climates, right? And lastly, a lot of them just want to be closer to family or care, right? We have a lot of clients that move near hospitals that have specialties, the cancer research centers and things like that. So these are all the reasons why they're moving. And just imagine, of all the people in your community of this generation, they're going to need help, right? They're going to need help through this journey, and you could be that solution, right? Understanding how to approach it is really important. And then all the steps in the process is what we've built over 17 years of doing this. And it's been very rewarding. You know, there's 2 types of retirement communities. Very simply, there's a month-to-month rental model, and there's a thing called a CCRC, continuing care retirement communities, right? And there are 2 different models. So the month-to-month rental model is most prevalent in most communities. You'll see more month-to-month rentals than you'll see CCRCs. And the month-to-month rental model, you know, you're gonna pay a security deposit, which is like the first month's rent, and that's a community fee. And then you're going to pay your first month's rent and move in. 3 months later, you can always move out. It creates flexibility, right? And most of them, though, are kind of limited to the level of care, right? Depending on their license that they have in your state health board of what level of care they can provide. Many of them will go independent living and assisted living, but many do not have skilled nursing. You'll only need skilled nursing in certain situations, but you can also bring that skilled nursing care in to that community and pay separately, right? So the month-to-month rental model is the most common. We've worked with developers of the retirement communities. I've talked to a number of them, and what they're saying is the month-to-month rental model is the most common because baby boomers, they like flexibility, right? They want to be able to change if their kids or grandkids move to somewhere else. Now, the CCRC model is a continuing care retirement community model. There's an entry fee, right? They call it an entry fee. And these are not deeded, by the way. These are still so-called rental communities, but you walk in with that, and in many communities, you're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. In our market, I think the lowest entry fee is probably about $400,000 or $500,000. It goes up to $1.5 million as an entry fee. Now, the continuum care retirement communities, they have a continuum of care. That means many of them are going to promise to take care of you to your demise, meaning you're going to get all the level of services until you're gone. Now, each state is a little different. In our community, in Hawaii, our health board has two models on it. One is a 90% refundable model where their heirs get 90% of the entry fee back, up to 1.5 million. There are many that do not, right? So it just depends on what's available in your community. My point in here is understanding who they are and finding out what their occupancy rate is. You see, because if they have any occupancy less than 88%, they're going to want to fill that up, and they're going to want to talk to people who can help them. And that's what we did. We approached it with that model around, we have clients that are looking for options, and we'd love to learn more about your value proposition. And so we took tours, and then we started doing seminars at them all because we drove traffic to their communities. So there's a give and take on all this. Everybody wins if you work together, because end of the day, your one goal is to make sure you're taking care of an older adult and get them into a safer environment that they choose with the least amount of stress. Right? The byproduct of all this is you're going to get a listing, okay? But just know that you really want to have the heart to really, this model in particular is not as transactional as it is relational, right? You're going to want to get to know that client and help them through the journey, because it is quite emotional for many. There's 3 levels of care. High levels is the independent person that can do everything on their own. Then you have assisted living. Anybody needs assistance with any of the activities of daily living, bathing, dressing, grooming, toileting, continence, any of that. If they have long-term care insurance, then, and that's when I go to a listing appointment, that's one of my questions I ask is if they have long-term care insurance, because then you can now plan on showing them that they'll have more money available in the event that they needed that care, right? So understanding long-term care insurance is important. That process we'll talk about in our class as well. And then the skilled nursing facilities. This is when you have an intrusion in your body or you're bedridden of some level. Skilled nursing facilities, they also call them SNFs, SNF. For those who are in that industry, will understand what you're talking about. Now, all of these, they provide the same, room and board. It's all inclusive typically. And they could run anywhere from a few $1,000s to $5,000 to $10,000. When you get to skilled nursing, it could be $10,000 to $20,000, right? It just depends on the level of care needed, right? So in our class, we have that broken down in a chart nationally in regard to the numbers that we see in our country. So here's a problem. Their home just doesn't work for them any longer, and they have to move, right? That's the number one solution that we're going to look for is how do we help them, right? Well, the first thing is that they're not going to sell their home or sign a listing agreement until they know where they're going, right? And so we'll go into a person's home and they're thinking like the home doesn't fit them any longer. First question is, where would you like to go? And they say, I don't know. So if you tell, many of our agents are going to say, well, when you find out, call me and I'll sell your home. Or you could say, hey, here's some choices in the community that we work with, these retirement communities. If you'd like, I can take you on a tour of these, or we can set that up so that you can experience it. And if we find something that works for you, then maybe we can start that process, right? And so you're really helping them. And it's really a process of a change of life, right? Because think about that. This person has lived in their home, this older adult, I would say anywhere from 20 to 80 years. We had a client, 89 years, she lived in their same house, okay? That's a long time, right? So it's very emotional, right? And we have to help them through that process, right? One of the ways to help them let go of their personal belongings is this acronym called SORT: sell, offer, retain, and toss. We say to them, everything in your home can fit in one of those 4 piles. And some of our clients say, well, you haven't seen our house. We have a lot more piles than that. No, really, you can make this simple so that we can make this process work, right? And we start with the retain pile and we walk through them all the way through the toss pile, right? And then what we'll do is we'll help them move and set up their new home. Now, I'm not recommending you do that. My recommendation on the processing of their things and the moving up of their things is to partner with one of the National Association of Senior Move Managers members. So NASM, you want to write this down. Write this down, NASMM, the National Association of Senior Move Managers. This is going to be a really big solution for you in this market, because you're not going to want to do, my wife and I, we built a company along with my niece to help with this process. And we've been doing this for over 12 years now. We've helped over 1,800 families move through this journey. So we understand the process very well. I'm not suggesting that you build a company like we did, because that's kind of crazy. I guess I did that, but that makes me crazy, I guess. Anyways, but there is a solution that you can call on. And you know what? That could be a referral source as well, right? Because those guys go into homes before they're thinking of selling. What if you created a relationship such that they sent you referrals as well, right? So there's a lot of ways that this relationship can build and really benefit all parties involved, right? And then you're going to help them move and set up their new home. Lastly, oftentimes they want something fixed, right? Or they're concerned about the way things look. So preparing the property for sale is really important, right? We built an arm of that with our contractor that we do construction management consulting as well. But what you really want to do is have a solution, meaning you have somebody you can count on that does good work, that's fair, right? That will do it on time. That's all you really care about. They're fair and they're going to do it on time. And you provide that solution to them, they're going to feel so comfortable with you as far as getting that listing signed, and then making sure that they understand that you're going to be the advocate to protect them. Right? The wealthy older adult really cares if somebody cares for them more than just the transaction, right? And that's something that many of you love to do naturally, and this is a model that will be very beneficial to everyone. Simply said, what are the seller's criteria? Do I like them, right? Likability. Well, a lot of you our friends in real estate, they're very likable, right? Do I trust them? Yeah, many of us, hopefully all of us, are trustworthy, right? But here's the last one. Do I believe they can help me? Do I believe they can help me? And that's where you're going to differentiate yourself, because the other agents won't help them. You'll be able to help them because you'll be educated with some tools and systems and conversations that'll help them go down this path, right? To make it comfortable for them. That'll separate you from the rest of your market, right? So what's the goal of this process? Well, number one is to secure listings with the wealthy older adult, right? This class was designed for that, right? And it's based on our experiences over the last 17 years, being able to attract listings. And then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to build a network and a database. You know, you're going to have the people who the wealthy older adult go to for advice. You want those guys to know you, right? Because if they know you and a wealthy older adult goes to a financial planner or a CPA or a trust attorney saying, you know, I'm not sure about my house. I'm not sure if it works for me anymore. Who do you think they're going to call? Well, right now they say, well, good luck. I don't know. I can't help you. But if you could be the solution, right, for the client, but also for the financial planner, the CPA, and the wills of trust attorney, because they have their own specialty, which is not ours, right? They are not the real estate planner. We are, right? And that's what we're going to work on training you to become, that real estate planner. What is a real estate planner? It simply said is it's a licensed real estate agent that is certified and has a knowledge, training, and experience to passionately guide a real estate owner in ways that create generational wealth, minimize taxes, and facilitate the goals of the family, right? When we started working with our clients, we started realizing the solutions we're coming up with. We realized we're much more than a real estate agent. We're a real estate planner. And this class is the gateway for you to become the real estate planner, right? Because we're going to equip you with tools and conversations that will help you be seen as a real estate planner and secure more listings with that market. The market that's shift proof, right? The market that we're all going to need during this time. You know, Gary Keller was mentioning in their last mastermind is finding the market of the moment. This is the market of the moment, right? Because these folks have equity and they're selling for a reason, right? Because of a situation in their life, right? So the real estate planner is going to help you elevate your business, and it'll help you become the trusted consultant, right? The planner of real estate, really elevating your business, right? And then it'll attract leads from other trusted advisors, right? Once you start to understand who they are and you network with them and you share your value to them, to their clients. I have been invited to every financial planning firm in our state to speak to their financial planners, trust companies, banks, and even some CPA and accounting firms, right? To speak of this process of helping their clients, because they want solutions for their clients, and they, you know, real estate's not their area of expertise. That's our area of expertise, and you too can be that real estate planner, right? And it's going to provide solutions to the wealthy older adults' problems, right? And what you're going to be able to do is customize a strategy for everybody that you meet with, because you're going to be equipped, because every situation is different. This is not a cookie cutter thing. Being a real estate planner involves understanding what properties they own, their cost basis, their cap rate on them, their desire for that property, right? Understanding their family, their kids and their grandkids and their needs, and tying all of that together will help you provide solutions that the family will greatly benefit from, right? And selling real estate, helping them buy real estate, that's a byproduct of what we do, right? But there are great rewards in that. So right here is our coaching class that we're having, securing listings with the wealthy, that we've been talking about. They're in 4 weeks. The first week, we're going to understand the opportunity within the wealthy older adult. You're also going to learn how to position yourself, right? The things you need to know, the people you need to know, the steps you'll want to take to position yourself as that go-to person in this community. Right? Then we're going to dive deep into senior relocation specialists. What are the steps? What does the conversation look like when you're talking to somebody in that situation? And how do you get them to say, yes, I want to sign this listing agreement with you because you're going to help me through this process, right? Learning the 1031 exchange. DSTs are Delaware Statutory Trusts. Many of you may not be aware of it, but it's one of the underutilized tools in legacy planning today, right? And we're really focused on how do we create a plan for that family, which can really grow your business, right? The 1031 exchange has actually been one of the larger sources of listings for us as we move forward. Why is it? Because, well, these people have a lot of equity. Most of them have 100% equity, right? So they're selling and they're improving their position in the market, meaning we do an asset performance test. That's another thing you'll learn. All you got to do is click on that icon with There's a dinosaur. Did you see that? There's a dinosaur in that QR code. Anyways, get your phone out, everybody. Click on that QR code, hit the dinosaur right in the head. And yeah, you can sign up. The 1031 exchange is a tool that I'm finding that we don't have a lot of agents really educated in. We've been training on this for 16 years now, right? On 1031 exchanges from just when I started into real estate, because I realized there's a problem that wealthy older adults have is they don't want to leave their properties for their kids and have your kids fight over it, right? So we help them create a plan such that they can create generational wealth, such that their kids can predetermine their inheritance, right? So imagine that. What if you had clients that had investment properties and had a number of children, and the children really wanted to buy something, but they couldn't afford it, meaning they didn't have a down payment? What happens then? Well, they just got to wait until mom and dad dies. Right? Why wait till the end, right? Why not do this now such that the children will benefit, mom and dad will benefit, knowing that they've created a legacy and there's no fights in the family, and I'm blessing my family today and I can experience the gratitude that they're going to provide and give to you, right? Versus dying and letting the kids fight over the real estate because it's kind of putting them in business together, and that turns out to be horrible in many cases, right? Lastly, we're going to talk about gaining knowledge of wills, trusts, and probate, and what we've done to understand how to secure listings for probate. This solution that we have is perfect for folks that need help. In many cases, when somebody passes away, their family needs help. If it's in a trust, that's great. If it's not in a trust, likely go to probate, understanding that process, connecting with probate attorneys, right? All of these things are ways you can build your business, right? So for 4 weeks, 1 hour each, starts on June 29th. Click on the dinosaur there, hit them in the head and sign up, or click on the link. So what's coming soon is what we call the real estate planner community. KW Real Estate Planner is a new community that's coming out. And frankly, not many people know it other than you, right? Because it hasn't been formally announced yet, right? But as we have Keller Williams, KW Military, KW Sports and Entertainment, KW Luxury, KW Commercial, we're going to have KW Real Estate Planner as a community. Why is that? Because we're going to build a lot of training and create a community around information, knowledge, and solutions that your clients are going to want, right? With that, you're going to get all these leads and referrals from our community, because once everyone's trained, just imagine this. You're trained on 1031 exchanges or senior relocation. You get a client or know somebody in your market that needs help in another state. Who do you think you're going to call on? You're going to call on people that are trained, just like you, to serve and provide that level of service. Absolutely. And so that's another thing that we're also looking to find market center specialists, as well as regional ambassadors, right, for the community. So if you know of anybody that would love to be a regional ambassador or market center specialist, please let us know. And we want to start creating that community in advance. Our plan is to roll this out on August 1st, and then really do a hard launch at Mega Camp. Right. What you're going to learn through this process is the systems, models, and tools that'll allow you to be perceived as and work as a real estate planner, right? And we're going to build a community that allows you, every situation that you have or conversation that you have, you comes in, it's going to go into a group, a Facebook group, and we're going to have a Q&A and support system. And we're going to have monthly training. And when you sign up for the membership for the community at just $199, you get every month, you're going to get a deep dive into these classes. Each of these 4 classes is going to take 3 months to get through. There'll be homework, there'll be tests, because you will be trained. This is not a, hey, come if I want. This is, I want to come because I want to learn how to provide a better level of service, separate myself from the other realtors in my market. There's work involved, ladies and gentlemen, and you're going to be able to have that opportunity. And then monthly masterminds. We're going to bring people around the country that are working at a really high level in these areas, and shine a light on them and see, what are they doing that they can share and mastermind around. We can also have topics of interest. that we can constantly mastermind around. So this is what happens when we launch the community, and this is what it's going to look like. So stay tuned because it's coming soon. And for this is my contact information. And yeah, and that's me in Indonesia. But so that dinosaur here in the bottom left is for you to sign in if you want. And that ends our presentation for today. Do we have any questions? I haven't been following the chat. My apologies.
I think you're good, Dan. I think, or Anne said, how will this compare to SRES? It's the only one that's a newer question.
Yeah, SRES is a good foundational information. What the difference is we're going to teach you how to get a listing, basically. SRES tells you what you're looking at in the industry, in that demographic. I have been an SRES member for, I don't know, a dozen years or so, maybe probably more. I've taken that class, and I've also been awarded one of the, I think it's the SRES Outstanding Service Award that NAR gives out. This is 2014. They give out 2 of these a year around the country, but I was blessed with that as well. Any questions I can help with? No questions. Anybody there?
I think there's one more from April.
What's April saying? Please go over that.
This program fast track, this fast track program, April, is the $199 for the entirety of the program. If that helps.
Here we go.
Yeah.
So it's $199. It's 4 weeks. Each week is 1 hour. And we're going to teach you what you need to learn to get a listing in these areas. The value that you're going to get out of this is you're going to, at the end of this month, you're going to act and look different from you were before you entered the class, because the knowledge that you have is actionable knowledge. I'm a real estate agent. I still go on listings. I got 2 listing appointments today, 1 tomorrow, both from the wealthy older adult families, right? I live this life, and my goal is, Gary asked me to share what we do, and that's why we're coming out and sharing our model with our KW family. And so this is very actionable things that we're going to talk about, that I'm sure that you're going to get some opportunity to get some listings out of.
Right on. I think we're
good.
Yeah, I think we're all set. Thanks for the patience to get everybody.
Sorry, everybody.
Everybody's time since we went a little over, but technical difficulties happen. Zoom. So yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Sign up now. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Okay, Graham. Thanks, man.